Hi, today I'm going to do a look on myself because this morning I have a crew from a German television show coming to my studio to kind of interview me, because actually my book is coming out in the German edition tomorrow. So I'm going to Germany this afternoon. So firstly, I'm so excited to have the book in German. It says Make-up gestern, heute, morgen, which I think is from the past to the future, or to the present day, from the past to the present. So because I've been away all last week, I was away on a job and it was really intense getting up so early every day. I just want a very simple makeup that will look good on camera, but will also make me feel very sparkling and awake. So I thought I'd do a really bright lip, because I always find that a bright lip is kind of quick because they're going to be here in like 15 minutes actually, but it's also quite easy to do. So I'm going to start with my base, and I think anyone can wear a bright lip. I think one of the most important things is though that you need to have a nice even base, because if you're wearing a bright, whether it be a coral or a pink or a red, it's sometimes you want that to be the bold statement, that to be the graphic element of your makeup. And if you have lots of redness or uneven skin tone, patchiness, like broken capillaries, they sort of detract from it and it becomes quite messy. So I think a very nice, clean, flawless base with this really bold statement lip really looks fantastic. So I'm actually going to put a matte foundation on because it's so hot in London today, and I believe it's hot in Germany where I'm going to Munich this afternoon. So I am going to have a nice layer of matte foundation. This is quite sheer coverage, but I'm going to build it up in the areas where I am a little bit red. I got a little bit of colour last week because I was in Barcelona all week, although I used all of my really high sunblocks. I think I definitely took a little bit of colour. So I've put a layer of that all over. I've built up a little bit around my mouth and chin area where I've got a few spots. I've also used the Laura Mercier just to cover those spots, as I do in my Eldridge technique. You can always look at the other video. And I'm using the Clé de Peau slightly lighter toned concealer. This is quite full coverage, but I'm just dabbing it in around the inner corners where my eyes are a bit dark at the moment, because I feel like with a bright lipstick you do really need to lift those shadows, lift those red areas, lift the blemishes, and get, obviously not a cake face, but something which does feel very uniform really to work the colour into. So in terms of what eyeshadow you wear with a bright lip, everyone is different. So I'm going to actually do most of my eye makeup once the lipstick is on, because then I can see what I need. Now if you're like somebody that's got very defined eyes naturally, everything is kind of like you look good with hardly any makeup on, then I recommend doing a very light eye makeup, if any, just sort of very neutral, add a little bit of mascara, sort of fill in brows. But it's amazing how your face changes when a bright lip goes on, and some people might find that they suddenly look extremely washed out and need more makeup. So I'm just putting a wash of the Becca cream eyeshadow all over, and I'm going to do some highlighting in my skin. This is the Shimmering Skin Perfector, just while the base is settling in. I'm going to add it to the high point because I want my skin to be quite highlighted. I'm just blending that in now. And just, you can always add a little bit more, build up slowly. Just check from all angles that that's really blended in. Now, actually, before I do anything, I'm going to do the bright lip because it will help me to balance with the brows and to see how dark I need the eyebrows to be. It will help me to judge how much eye makeup I want. So if I do the initial stain of lipstick, it really will give me a kind of guide, if you like. I'm just going to put a little bit of lip balm on. In terms of the shade you choose, I really feel like you can try all different colours. If your base is really even and neutralised, you can get away with wearing colours that maybe you wouldn't normally wear. I'm going to put quite an orangey coral on, which I'm usually going more for bright pinks, but I think it will be a nice change for me. And also, I've taken all the pink out of my skin, so it should work. So I'm going to start by using a lip pencil all over my lips. Just follow the natural shape to begin with. Then once it's roughly on, you can just see what shape you need. Because I'm making a big statement with this colour, it needs to be done well, so spend a bit of extra time just adjusting and smoothing those edges and blending in. Now on top of the pencil, I'm going to use this liquid lips. And just start to really pat that in. So if you're going to be wearing a bright lip, you don't want to be constantly touching it up. So to make it low maintenance, it's best to spend time to really kind of create that stain. Okay, so I might put another layer of that on, but that's the colour. I might even make it a tiny bit brighter, but now I need to finish my makeup. So one of the first things I strongly believe when you've got a red lip on is that most people need a good brow. I mean, if you're young and whatever, gorgeous, you probably find that you just put the red lip on and you're ready to go. But for me, I would definitely need now some definition around my eyes and something to balance this out. I think the less you can the least you can get away with on your eyes, the fresher this makeup looks and the more modern it looks. You know, as soon as you start putting tons and tons of eyeshadow on and loads of liner with a bright lip, I feel it becomes a little bit dated. So it's definition, but still keeping the eyes wide and modern looking and fresh. So to start with my eyebrows, I'm going to use a powder, and I really want to get the shape defined here. So I'm just filling in any gaps, but also I'm going to give a little bit more fullness at the inner corner here, towards the nose. I think using either a powder or a little pen, again, will give them a little bit more of a softer look, even though you're going to make them strong. If they're very penciled and then you've got this very penciled lip, it's all getting a little bit too harsh. So think about luscious brows, luscious and volumized brows. So now I'm going to give my eyelashes a really good curl. I'm going to try and not use any eyeliner, but plenty of mascara instead. And then I might shade a little bit in the socket line. So I'm going to put tons of mascara, but nice and separated. Kind of defined brows, lashes. So nice and wide-eyed and lashy. And then next I'm going to just look at my eyes and see what makeup I need. Now everyone is different. You might look at yourself with a strong brow and a strong lip and think that's great. Or you might think, well, I need a little bit more balancing. And makeup, good makeup is all about balance, which is why sometimes I do things in a different order. Like with a bright lip, I'll often put it on before I do the lips or the blush, just because without that you don't have any sense of balance. So I'm just going to use actually just a little bit of the eyebrow. This is the eyebrow palette, because I just need a little tiny bit of shading there. But I still want it to look nice and open, so not too much. Actually, I've just put too much on, just as I said that. So just buffing in. So I'm excited for this German TV. They're going to film lots of my vintage makeup and my studio, and underneath I'm going to use the same colour just to dot through the lashes. Okay, I might use a tiny bit of powder, although the foundation's matte. It's so hot and I'm so shiny naturally anyway that I might just powder down the centre. Before I do that, I'm going to use some blush. I'm going to use this colour, which looks incredibly bright, because I feel like it keeps it really fresh and modern to have something which is firstly a similar colour to your lips, and secondly quite transparent. So rather than kind of, you know, loads of bronzer or contour, which, you know, just stops it from looking as modern, I think. I mean, obviously if you need to do a little bit of that, or you feel happier doing it, then go ahead, but just keep it quite fresh. So just dabbing on this liquid blush, which is lovely. It's a Stila one. It's almost identical in base tone to the lips. And if you've got a little bit of highlighter still left on your brush, with a nice liquid, you can always blend this all in before you put on any powder. And also even with blush, I mean, you might put a little bit on, then leave it, and then just before you leave the house, look again and think, oh, it's enough, or it could do the touch more. So, you know, gauge things as you go along. Now, if you don't have a really bright lipstick, maybe you've got sort of fairly bright ones like pinks and reds and things, you can just buy a neon pigment, and they sell these. This is from Camden Market. I think it's about £3. They sell them in lots of fancy dress shops. They can be quite drying, so you might need to mix them with your lipstick, or put a little bit of shine over the top, but they're really good. I have them in my kit. I have loads of colours, and then just pat that on to the centre. It looks very bright here. I don't even know if it's showing up on the camera. So I've just looked on my screen, and actually this is not showing up on camera, which is incredible because it's bright neon. My lips are bright neon at the moment, to the point where I need to tone them down a bit. I'm going to go over the top with this again, just to blend in that neonness. And then I do like this kind of really matte texture when I'm wearing very, very bright lips, because it's just so graphic. But most of these very long wearing matte lipsticks tend to be quite drying. So if you really have dry lips and you can't bear the thought of that, then just add a little bit of gloss, but not all over, just in the centre, just to give a little bit of shine. So all I need to do now is a touch of powder. I have my powder here, but before I do my filming, I'm going to put a touch of powder down the centre of my face. I'm going to leave all this lovely shine and luminosity, and that's it. So I hope you like the look. It's so quick. I feel just raring to go now. Makeup can do that. It can really wake you up and put you in a completely different mood, and it's definitely worked for me. So I hope you enjoyed the look, and I'll see you soon.